We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
Hey, it's Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's happening?
Hey, what's good, man? What's good?
I am, you know what, man? I'm actually feeling real good today, though, bro. I almost forgot completely that it was MLK weekend here. Somebody had to remind me that on Tuesday. No, actually, no, I'm sorry, on Thursday, actually. So I was like, hey, I got a long weekend here, man. I'm gonna enjoy that, bro. What about you?
Yeah. Same here. I'm gonna enjoy it anytime I get some time off. I enjoy it, especially with how busy I've been. So definitely going to utilize that time to hopefully sleep in a little bit.
Yeah, man, I hear you. I think that for me, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think that for the most part, though, man, I'm definitely looking to get some stuff done. Like, every year, bro, I say that I'm going to start early in the springtime on my yard, bro. So I'm thinking that I'll say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and put down my fertilizer and get myself. And I said I'm gonna do it every spring early. I think I might actually do it this time though, bro. So that might be something that I might fool around. We're supposed to get some rain or something like that though. So coming on up. So it might be a good time to do something like that though, bro.
Yeah. What's the best thing that you've seen this week, though?
Oh my gosh, man. Best thing that I have seen this week. That was very easy. Very, very, very easily, bro. So I had already had it, the AEW match, the AEW episode already recorded. So there's two AEWs, actually three that I need to watch. I need to watch the one from this week.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to watch the one where they do the Brody Lee tribute.
Yeah.
But bruh, the one that I saw that I had me literally in tears. Landon couldn't even go to sleep, bro, because I was dying laughing that hard. It has to be when I saw Snoop Dogg get into the ring, and when I saw it, the thing that got me the most is the fact that for one, you know what I'm saying, like Snoop's old. If we 40, Snoop got to be at least
He's
50.
48, I think.
48. Okay, so Snoop's 48, right?
I think so.
So I'm just sitting here watching Snoop. Now, you and I know Snoop Dogg is he's been part of wrestling for a long time, man. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame in their celebrity wing or whatnot, though, man. So I died laughing though, man, when I saw Snoop getting in the ring, bro. I was in tears because the thing that got me the most was the faces that Snoop was making. Like he was like, I couldn't hear him, right?
Yeah.
But I thought I saw Snoop. Snoop was like, nah. He was saying, nah, cuz, let me get him in. Let me get some, cuz. And then so I see Snoop climb to the rope. And Snoop's like, no, bring him a little closer. And the face, he's so serious though, bro. And so I'm dying laughing all the way through. And then the top of the cake, when Snoop does his splash off the top rope, he jumps straight up, and it looks like he's trying to make sure, of course, he don't hurt himself.
Yeah.
So Snoop jumps straight up, does his splash. He got his butt all in the air when he's doing it, though, bro. And I am
trying to take care of the wrestler because
Oh my gosh, though, man. And that's the thing that I love the most too, is that the wrestlers stayed in character because usually when you see somebody get a nice little frog splash, they brace and they grab their ribs like their ribs are broken. And so the fact that I saw the wrestler still do that when Snoop Dogg, who looked like he couldn't be more than 150 pounds, splashing on him, right? And the wrestler still was selling it though, man. I was in tears laughing though, bro. And that is very easily. Listen, Snoop Dogg may have single-handedly saved 2021 for me already though, bro. But that was the best thing I saw this week, man.
Yes, sir.
Died laughing, bro. What about you, man? What you got?
I figured you would ask me that. Best thing that I saw this week would have to be
you were able to find some, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got them Westbrooks, bruh.
Let me see this thing. Let me see this thing. Wow. Okay, what do these rank on the Westbrooks to you?
These are right up there. These are right up there with the why nots, the first ones to me.
Okay.
And what I like about these, I mean, obviously, every time Westbrook does a colorway, they mean something. And so those particular colorway, it's all about his childhood, like where he grew up and stuff like that. So it looks crazy, but and what's crazy is because a lot of shoes have adopted the why not the why not aspect of, so when you see like a real funky colorway on a shoe, so the fact that he's kind of spearheaded that, I think is dope. But yeah, every one of his shoes, they always mean something, because like he had a black and gold pair that came out I think today, and it meant like family. So he has like different visions for his colorways, so I just think it's dope. And so yeah, I was actually able to get them. Even when they finally made it in stores, my size wasn't there, so I went another way and got them. So super grateful that I got them, and yeah, can't wait to pull them out.
Now let me ask you this though: Are these wearable? You know what I'm saying? They ain't like, are you treating these like the J's, where they're there for performances or there for pictures, but that they won't actually touch the ground any other way?
No, these will be wearable. Like, these is for like basketball tournaments. You pull them out for purposes of people looking at your feet. So
cool dad vibe.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like, live church. I might pull them out at work one time, like it'll be sparingly, but they'll come out. They'll come out. They won't be like the Jays.
That is so listen, let's get into it, man. I know that we matter of fact, listen, before we get into it, let's get that music going.
Oh, I was gonna stop you before you went into it.
Let's go, because let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. It doesn't matter what your name is. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep. Can you dig it, sucker?
If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers Facebook and YouTube page. As we mentioned, every episode is loaded shortly thereafter to Spotify and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Ace Kiddy, let me tell you something that's funny though, bro.
What's up?
So the funny thing here is that, when we do on the podcast intro, it said the greatest podcast of all time, and it's that reminded me. I did that because of the old NWO when they came out, and they was like, when Hulk Hogan would come out there, they was like the greatest icon of all time. That's where they come from.
That's dope.
Yeah. But listen, this is
throwback.
This is the interesting thing, though, man, because you was talking about Westbrook, childhood, James Harden, childhood friend of his, finally done forced his way since the last time we met. Yeah. He was right there on the cusp. It's official. Now you got Kyrie, who's still on AWOL, right?
Well, he's not on AWOL anymore. He has finally reached out. The owner actually spoke to him, and he's already doing the things that's necessary to get back off of the protocol. So he's not AWOL anymore. He is on speaking terms.
See, this is the thing that I find to be interesting, right? Because if the owners and let's say the GMs actually consulted Kyrie and KD on hiring Steve Nash and all the other decisions that I was supposing you would run through on people of that caliber and everything like that. My question for you is this though, bro, right off the cuff. Was this something that KD okayed? And do you think this is something that Kyrie okayed?
Both are yes, according to the owner. So the owner, or I don't know if he's the owner, general manager, whoever. He basically said he did talk to Kyrie about it, about bringing on James Harden. So because of course people asked him, was this reactionary because of the indecisiveness of whether or not Kyrie was going to be back? So he basically said, nah, this has nothing. This was always our plan to have 3 stars here. And he okayed it. KD signed off on it. Like, yeah, we all on the same page here.
Do you think this makes them the favorite to go ahead and win? Like, what does this do for you?
No,
in terms of who is gonna like, what are you expecting?
I'm gonna be honest. I really think it should be one or the other, and because there's not enough basketball. Like they said that about James Harden and Russ, and we saw that didn't work out. Here's the thing. James Harden's the one that's got something to prove. Well, actually, him and Kyrie got something to prove because James Harden has ran off a bunch of stars for playing with him. And so that's one thing that he has to live up to. And then Kyrie, he doesn't like being big brother. And I don't know what mental stuff he's going. I don't know what Kyrie's going through. That's not for me to discuss. I'm just talking about the basketball part of it. So from the basketball standpoint, he came out and said that he didn't like being little brother to LeBron. And it seemed like, from my perspective, watching them play, it seemed like KD was getting on him a lot. And it felt like to me that he almost felt like that little brother thing again. And I don't know what he stepped away for or whatever the case may be, but
this is 5 games into the season. This happened.
Right. And so the thing is that so both of them have something to prove. KD, he's a catch and shoot guy. He can make it happen from whatever. But both James Harden and Kyrie both need the ball. So I'm just trying to figure out how. And then defensively, James Harden has improved on defense, but what are they going to do defensively? You know what I'm saying? And yes, all of them can score from any point on the basketball court and can do their thing. But I'm just saying, for me, I just don't think it's going to work. They're gonna have to prove it to me.
See, this is where I got a lot of questions. I want to get your official response on some of these questions.
All right.
But I think that this is the thing this is the part that I'm more so interested in seeing, right? Because do you think KD is better than Kyrie?
Do I think KD is better than Kyrie?
Do you think KD is better than Kyrie?
Yes.
Do you think that James Harden is better than Kyrie?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing that I'm interested in. If according to what you mentioned, and I agree that Kyrie wanted to leave because he didn't want to be Lil Bro. He felt like, hey, I'm the number 1 pick. I was here before LeBron got here, technically speaking. And while they were cellar dwellers, he was still the number 1 guy. And then LeBron came there and he instantly, that made LeBron the number 1 by the fact, right? So my question then is that if you didn't like being number 2, now, according to most people, you're number 3. So I'm just wondering, even though James Harden is basically probably the top and most prolific scorer in the league. Makes it look easy. Give you 30-some points easy when he wants to, right? I'm just wondering if Kyrie is looking at this like, nah, bro, you the odd man out because you the one that don't got rings. You basically are joining us to try to get the fast track on the ring.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know the conversations that's being had because I don't know that James Harden is coming in saying, yo, I'm the number 3. And that's the thing. Like, the pressure is on James Harden and it's on Kyrie. It's on James Harden because you forced your way to this destination. So let's
talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this, Ace. Because I want you to tell me. I put a post out on Facebook because let's just compare notable requests, or I'm not going to say requests for trades. Let's just say movements, superstar movements, right?
Okay.
So I want you to tell me, how would you rate these?
Okay.
LeBron, if for those who say,
make sure you give me the numbers, like what the rating is.
okay, wait, let's go worse to not as bad. So let's say of these 5 or 6, put them in order from top to bottom on the worst one. The worst
one is
move,
KD.
you the wackest. Listen, let's talk about this. Here's what I want to know. KD to the Warriors. LeBron James leaving Cleveland. AD to the Lakers. Kyrie leaving the Cavs. James Harden's new deal. Kawhi Leonard forcing his way out of the Spurs. And PG, since you seem to think I hate PG, but PG forcing his way 2 times, forcing his way out of the Pacers, and then again, hightailing it out of Oklahoma City, according to Charles Venus.
See, that's the thing. If it's according to you, I'm not answering that question when it comes to PG, because that's not what happened.
Okay, so let's say if you base it off of what you know to have happened.
Okay.
Never mind my opinion on it.
Right.
But what you know. So what do you think is the worst of those?
The worst one is Kevin Durant. And the reason why, it's not so much of him leaving, it's who he left to and how he did it. Because for me, even if he went to Golden State, he still owed Russ a conversation. In my opinion, he still owed Russ a conversation, because you basically roped him in to your mess, because now they got to answer questions. Did you leave because of Russ? Like, if he would have just came out and said, look, me and Russ had a discussion. I told him that I was ready to move on away from the Oklahoma City Thunder. That would have taken that away, and the conversation would have just been him leaving the Thunder, who had them down 3-1 and went to a 73-19. That would have been the conversation. So that's the worst one to me.
Worst one is KD.
Yeah. Next, it would have to be Kawhi Leonard. Just because of the fact, like, I can't say he faked an injury. He said he knows his body, but he basically sat until they traded him. Okay. So that's next. Then after that is AD, because to me, I think that AD did start creating, like, he started doing little bitty slide things, almost like James Harden did, but it went longer. So that's why I think it was worse than James Harden. Then comes James Harden, then comes LeBron. Because I think they nipped James Harden's in the bud real quick once he got on TV and basically said, nah, my team trash. So that one's pretty bad. But I think because of the fact that AD's went longer, like him showing up to games with "that's all folks" written on the shirt, like just that whole thing. And they basically like, nah, man, you don't even need to play. Like, he was there longer to put that salt in the wound of all his co-stars. So like, nah, I think his was worse than James Harden's. But I say that, but here's the thing though. I will say this, regardless of how I feel about James Harden leaving or how he left or whatever the case may be, I do still side with the players, because a team will get rid of you whenever they want to, however they want to, regardless of what your contract looks like. George Hill don't want to be on the Thunder. Like, that wasn't his, oh, I want to be on the Thunder. Like, there's so many players that get pushed around. Like, I don't even know that, like, even because Oladipo's contract was expiring. So it wasn't even that he wanted to go to Houston. So the Pacers just like, well, bro, your contract expiring. You ain't talking about extensions or nothing. So we just gonna go ahead and just, before we lose you for nothing, you out. So again, a team will just get rid of you when they want to. So I'm all for the players taking a stand. But yeah, the KD move was still whack.
So what is so LeBron's move? Is that that's on the lower end? If I'm following you, then LeBron going to Miami, that's on the low end.
Well, because the thing is that he, for one, LeBron James ended his contract. He didn't go to a team that he couldn't beat. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I can't beat this team, so I'm gonna go to him. He changed the way the league looks at free agency and stuff like that. His contract was done. He did everything he needed to do. He went and decided to have fun playing basketball. Well, he tried to anyway. He became the villain, obviously, but he still went and played with his friends. You know what I'm saying? They set things up and they got things done. They got rings out of the deal. And then the fact that he went back to Cleveland and brought Cleveland a championship. From that point, he was free and good. So the thing is, the only way, in my opinion, that KD, that I will recognize him as a champion, he has to win with the Nets, or he has to come back to Oklahoma City and give us a championship. That's the only way.
That's tough.
It ain't.
So,
I'm just saying.
I want to be honest with you, bro.
Mhm.
I agree with a lot of the points that you have. I think that I rate these a little different.
Of course. Oh, I
So
never
for
did
me-
say PG, huh?
No, you didn't say PG, and I didn't think you would.
PG is under LeBron's because
I thought you would say that.
but here's the reason why. Just real quick, for me, PG told Indiana, like, listen, I would request a trade, so I'm trying to give you guys a heads up, so you can get something back for me, or whatever the case.
2 years left on his contract.
Yeah, but he still gave them the heads. He didn't become a distraction though.
I get that. Okay, right.
For me, because he gave them that courtesy of, hey, once you guys get something back for me. And then even when he left Oklahoma City was set up with all these draft picks that Sam Presti is still cashing in on. So for that, it's like, I can't really be mad. Like he there's no love lost here in Oklahoma City. When he came back, standing ovation, he gets the video, he gets the salute. Like everybody, nobody said nothing crazy about PG. KD, whole different story. Cupcakes all in the audience. People done duct tape Oladipo on the back of their jerseys. It was bad. So PG is straight.
I agree with you, bro. I think that KD's is the worst. The thing that made KD's the worst was the fact that, like, I get that KD was a free agent like LeBron and had the green light to do whatever he wanted to do, right? And I don't think that players necessarily owe franchises anything, because at the end of the day, they'll trade you for something that's more attractive and advantageous to them, right?
Correct.
But I think that the part that made it look bad was the fact that you just lost to them. And now, mind you, this was a 72-win team. 73-win team that you had down 3-1. If the circumstances were any different, if Oklahoma City was down, 3-1, I would have said, you know what, not the greatest move, but I wouldn't have looked at it as a sucker move the way that everybody does now, and that I do now. So I definitely got KD as number one. But I got to be honest with you, bro. I think that James Harden is number two to me, though, bro, on this ranking of those. And I'll tell you the reason why.
Okay.
Because I think that at the end of the day, I think that KD felt like, we're a small market team, so that means that we're not an attractive place for free agents. So for Oklahoma City, everything has to be grassroots. So on that roster that Oklahoma City, for example, was in the finals, like half the roster was drafted by Oklahoma City. In that lineup, you had Serge, Steven Adams, you had Russ, KD. Those are 4 of your 5 starters who were drafted by you, right? And so you don't get that kind of attraction as a small market team. And so I think the difference to me, though, is that KD probably just felt like, listen, Russ is a superstar, but I just can't win with him. And while the team is going to do everything that they can do, it's just never going to work out with Russ. He owes Russ that conversation. He owes Russ that fade. However, Russ deems it necessary to resolve that. It's 100%.
Yeah.
But I think that the part that, to me, that makes James Harden looks worse is that the Rockets isn't a small market team. And the Rockets have gone out of their way to make the Rockets all about James Harden. From giving him his way with all the stuff off the court, they brought in players in their prime. And while Chris Paul wasn't in his prime, he was effective. Chris Paul is still Chris Paul, by the way, right? Because they brought in Dwight Howard. He ran Dwight Howard off. They brought in Chris Paul. And you would see there was that one little spat in the playoffs where I think where James Harden swiped down at Chris Paul's head. And Chris Paul is a hard guy, they say, for other people to play with. Like he's not everybody's cup of tea. But James Harden almost had me believing that this was another Chris Paul. I thought that was James Harden. And then here it is. You got your childhood homie who you've been knowing for all this while. He wanted to get on out there to you, and all of these moves had to be signed off on James Harden or okay to prove.
Don't forget Melo. Melo, he had
Melo. Yes, you had Melo. You almost had me believing Melo couldn't hoop no more, James Harden. That's what I'm mad about. So when it comes down to it, this franchise has went out of their way to think that our route to a championship is through you. So we're going to build the team solely around you. We're lining shooters up all around you so the lanes are open. We moving our centers, and we're going to have PJ Tucker running as a center at 6'4" because he can shoot the three and he can then for a stretch the floor out, right? And then they've been doing all of this stuff around you, and you ran out everybody, and then you say your team's trash because this time, this roster isn't constructed to where you ran everybody else off, right? You basically.
But let me ask you a question though, Charles. But here's the thing though, right? Is it something to be said, right? I understand, yes, they did do everything to try to build around him, but isn't it something to be said that this group of people, number one, they ran off the coach, they ran off the general manager, and he isn't what in his 13th career, so 13th year, so maybe for him he feels like I'm not ready for no rebuild because you bring in it.
I agree with that 1,000%.
And so here's the other thing. You're bringing in two unproven guys. DeMarcus Cousins has been hurt classically for the last two or 3 years.
True.
John Wall ain't played for 2 years. So you're bringing in, like, yes, John Wall looks great. He looks great.
Yeah.
And Boogie looks great too outside of getting pushed. But the thing is that at the same time, he's not in a position to be there for a rebuild. They gave away what, Covington, was it?
Okay, let's talk about that. That's true. And I understand everything that you're saying. But my thing is that if you're telling me that you're not ready for a rebuild, and when we try to build around you, you're pushing everybody away, you're running them off.
No, I get that. But the thing is that, and this is the argument that's classically brought up on sports all the time, is the fact that they had Golden State down to the 7th game and Chris Paul was hurt. And then obviously he choked. They're saying if Chris Paul had been there, they might have beat Golden State. So I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just throwing out.
And here's the thing. Here's the other part too, right? Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me, right? You mean to tell like here's the thing. I think that this is one of those things that I tell you all the time when it comes to how I personally look at it. Mm-hmm. The Charles Venus basketball measuring stick, right? Yeah. It's one thing when you're superstars, and there's another one when you're all-stars, and then there's when you talk about GOAT list, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, I look at this as James Harden. Not necessarily, I can tell that James Harden can look at that roster and says, "Yeah, we could make the playoffs, right? If James Harden played as hard as he normally could with the effort, with John Wall and Boogie Cousins out there playing pretty good." And, and they got Christian Wood. They're not, the Rockets roster isn't terrible, right? They would have made the playoffs. They wouldn't have won the ring. They wouldn't have won. But listen, when they did do it your way, you still didn't. So my thing is that here's the thing. Here's almost where I'm looking at. Because I always jumped on Paul George when he left Indiana because he basically looked at Indiana as well and said, we ain't going to get past LeBron. Well, they thought that with PG that he could. Well, I'm just wondering here, that when you ask to be traded, like to me, that's an admission that I'm not who y'all think I am.
Okay.
Like, I'm not, you can't solely rely on me to get us over the hump like people think.
Last thing. Well, for one, I mean, I understand that argument because LeBron ain't doing it by himself. So
but listen, he's choked. He's choked for 6 straight years, right?
No, I understand that. But here's my last point about James Harden. Last thing. He's got a new coach, a new general manager. So some of the tactics that he got away with last year, he can't get away with no more. Like there was tension from what the reports say is that Russ, they would be in a film session and James would show up late. And so then he would be like, nah, run the tape. And so D'Antoni's like, nah, because if I start the tape now. When he get here, I'm gonna have to rewind it. We're gonna start over. He was like, nah, we he would be late for meetings. He would, would miss practices and training. I mean, and miss flights and stuff like that. So I'm just saying the stuff that he was able to get away with, the things that he used to be able to get away with, he ain't getting away with them no more.
I get that, and I agree 1,000% with that. But you can't do that kind of stuff and then say, man, this team trash. Look what y'all putting around me. And you doing that. To me, it would almost be like it. So this is the thing. So I would even fault Giannis differently. I wouldn't even look at Giannis the same if Giannis said, listen, man, if he told the Bucks, yeah, this ain't gonna happen. And in all honesty, the fact of the matter is that it's very much like Oklahoma City. Milwaukee isn't a free agent destination, right? Unless you're giving out the bag. So they got to base the draft. So that's why, Chris Middleton, it worked out that he was homegrown, drafted by them. Giannis, they're key players because in a small market, they're not. But if Giannis said, listen, I'm going to get a ring, and I just don't think that as much as the franchise tried to do, as much resources that they try to pull out, at the end of the day, don't nobody want to come to Milwaukee to get him over the hump like that. I would understand that, but James Harden, nah. And I just look at that when I think about that though, bro. To me, it means all of the numbers that James Harden has put out there is you could throw it in the trash. It's toilet water to me. It's the fact that you done put up all these. I saw something, bro, where somebody said, "Listen, that boy Vince Carter was in the league for 20 years and never got to a finals, right?" So all he been doing is running and dunking and shooting for 20 years, and it didn't mean nothing. Well, to me, all of those 37 straight points, all the stuff that James Harden does, it's nothing. And I got to be honest with you, bro. To me, it makes it look like I look at him different though. When even if they won a ring, like I don't look at him like I would look at like KD, or I don't look at him like a LeBron. Like people.
That's what I'm going to ask you though. Like how I look at KD's ring, you would look like that for James's ring?
I think I would, because to me, the biggest difference is, so this is the thing about it. The biggest difference is that you'll never know if James Harden was what they needed to get over the hump. So it would be like if KD and Kyrie got to the finals, lost, and then James Harden joined them next year, and then they won. That would be more of an equivalent of that scenario. But I guess when I look at that, though, man, I just think that to me, James Harden, while he's the greatest offensive scorer probably of all time, though, bro, take him out of the GOAT conversation, because now you've conceded that you ain't that dude. And that's the issue, bro, that I have.
The thing that I have, right? Like I listen to you explain these scenarios and about these other stars, but in my opinion, bro, you don't keep that same energy when it comes to LeBron, bro.
I know that, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because the reason why I don't have that energy when it comes to LeBron is for the same reason why I wouldn't have that kind of energy when it comes to Giannis, right? Here's what I mean by that. So with Giannis, right, Giannis has to get homegrown talent because ain't nobody trying to go to Milwaukee. Well, when LeBron went to Cleveland, Cleveland's worth doubled. After year one, it doubled. And Cleveland I'm talking about, it was night and day, right? And so what LeBron was basically saying is that, listen, it can't it can't just be me. Not when the Celtics got KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. Not when the Spurs got Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker. You know what I'm saying? He's saying it can't just be me.
Right. But that's what I'm saying though, bro. That's what exactly what you said is what I'm saying. Because
I agree with that. But here's the reason why. Here's the reason why I don't get on LeBron like that. It's because I think that LeBron, at the end of the day, looked at that franchise and said, y'all don't even appear to be trying. And maybe they're saying, well, we thought you was it. Maybe their thought is, well, we think that we need it. We thought that we could just throw a bunch of, yahoos around you, but they didn't do that for Jordan, though. Right. So it's like,
no.
I can't look at LeBron the same way, though, bro. I just can't.
But that's what I'm saying, though. LeBron is basically recruiting stars to join him to win championships. And so that's what other players are doing. It's joining other stars to win a championship.
And I agree with that, right? I don't think that here's the thing. I don't think that there's a problem with that. But to me, the minute you go and join somebody else, you concede on the GOAT list. So it's like I don't look at you like you a dog. I look at you as a guy who just can put up a bunch of
KD's not a GOAT anymore.
No, it's not that, bro. So this is the thing about it. The reason why I look at KD's, this is the reason why I think that KD validated his move. Because there's no doubt in my mind that without KD, LeBron and them would have beat the Warriors, bro. I feel strongly in my convictions, but LeBron and them did that too. He went and grabbed, K Love. They already had Kyrie. But I think the big thing about it, though, bro, is that to me, I think that KD was clearly the reason why he was the Finals MVP for a reason. He was clearly what put them over.
But that's because he had other people to take the pressure off of him getting double teamed. Like I said, if he was that dog, he would have stayed in Oklahoma City and more people would have been recruited to come to Oklahoma City versus him going. Because your logic is he went to another team, so he conceded the GOAT list. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. And that's the reason why. That is the reason why it's the most sucker move of all time. And that's the reason why, to me, when I look at KD, I can't look at him like Larry Bird. I can't look at him like those GOAT players like that. No, it's not. And this is the thing about it. I think that just, to me, when KD went there, and though he got the rings, it's exactly why you would say he got them asterisks by the rings. Because to me, it dropped. It would very much be like Michael Jordan joining the Celtics.
Yeah.
Right. It would be like Jordan going to the Lakers. Like, for what? And so if Jordan is what we say, if Jordan is what we think he is, there's no need for that. Well, it's like LeBron. When LeBron went to Miami, for example, LeBron left because he figured that, hey, these people don't know at all how to assemble a team. And I've lost 2 franchises who know, so I know what it's supposed to look like. So when people say, oh, yeah, LeBron's the real GM of whatever, it's because I think LeBron witnessed enough on how it's done the right way to know that his team wasn't. So I think that fast forward, though, when somebody like Paul George, who then says, hey, you know what? I got to roll. He did it to a small market team, though, bro. And I understand that they would have never gotten over LeBron. But to me, the minute that you leave and you go to an already established team with an already established superstar who is clearly never going to concede to be a number one, Russell ain't going to be number 2 to nobody. Then that means that, kudos on getting out of that move. But from my perspective, I don't look at you the same way that I look at them dudes. Like, I don't look at AD the same. I look at AD as a contributor who is a solid reason why the Lakers won the ring, but he went there to join LeBron. So that means you conceded when we said you're a top 5 player, the minute you went to go join LeBron and you can say, I came here to win a ring with LeBron, that means to me, you're not over LeBron on the who are the today's GOATs, who are the best players today. And it's just the same reason why I would never look at Paul George like he is not an equal to Kawhi Leonard. He has more skill, right? His game is probably better. But I just think that when you jump teams like that, for those reasons,
He's playing much better than Kawhi too.
He's playing better. His game is better than Kawhi, bro.
Yeah.
I just think that. I just think that to me,
that's why Paul George is my guy, bro. He's my guy. But
I love him. Listen, I love Paul George. I love his game, bro.
Yeah. Well, bro, we could talk about this all day, but we got so many things to talk about.
Yes.
Let's move on,
Let's
bro.
do it.
Yeah.
What we got?
It looks like that 45 has been impeached again. So what does that mean?
So my understanding of impeachment, because there's only been a handful of presidents who have been impeached once.
Right. He's the first for twice. He's
the only one that's been impeached twice. But then there's levels to the impeachment, right? So Richard Nixon is the only president to be impeached all the way through. By all the way through, I mean through the House of Representatives and also the Senate. The House only has to have a majority, right? The Senate has to have 2/3 in order to impeach. So that's why every time when they say, "Oh, he's impeached," it's going to go to the Senate and it's probably never going to get approved. when Bill Clinton got impeached, it was impeached on the House. It didn't move past the Senate, and it probably never. It's hard. I mean, it's very hard. And as much as it makes sense that this time could have, it didn't. It didn't.
Well, I seen that Pence refused. Didn't he refuse to remove him from office or something like that?
Pence refused to invoke Amendment 25 to say that the president is unfit.
Okay, and so then it goes to the vote, and isn't Kamala the deciding?
No, that it didn't get to Senate, so it only stopped in the House.
Okay,
so the House voted by. So the House is just by majority. Now, the thing that made this one interesting is that there were, the first time that he was impeached, I don't believe there were any Republicans who actually voted for him. This time there were about 10 that were noteworthy that voted for him. And so it's gonna, and the big thing is, to be quite honest, it feels like this is a bit of a waste of time because he only has 5 more days into the office, right? And so the proceedings themselves just take a little bit longer than what people would believe. Yeah. But then here's the thing that's interesting, though, man. So he goes through and he's impeached by Congress, and basically impeachment just essentially means that, you know, you were found guilty for either taking bribes, misdemeanors. It is basically an admission that there was a crime. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's an admission of the crime that violates what I think people feel are the integrity of the office or that particular position, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're unfit for the position. And I think that's where it will never get to Senate, because Senate, there are fewer votes that are calculated and you have to have more. And so that just kind of tells you the level that when Richard Nixon actually was impeached flat out, how guilty people thought that he was. I think that with Donald Trump, I think the reason why it'll never get done by the Senate is because then it becomes all the people who have the power, right? The Mitch McConnells, they'll never admit that. You'll need a lot of Republicans to really admit that he was at wrong. And I don't think that any of them have been able to tell him that he was wrong so far. So I don't see that ever happening. The thing that is interesting, though, more than him getting out of the office, is that it's the stain, right? The stain to his resume of being the only president who's ever been impeached twice, right? And I think the other part, what they were hoping to do, though, is that the minute you're impeached, especially in the first term, that means you'll never be able to run for president or any public office ever. So they were hoping, if we can go ahead and impeach him on both, let's get him out of here now. Boom, we ain't got to worry about 2024, coming on up. But I think that even still, though, man, history doesn't forget. And I think at the end of the day, this second impeachment at least ensures that when it's all said and run, that he will be looked at as being on the wrong side of history, though, bro.
Bro, tell me you saw when those hoodlums and thugs was storming the Capitol building, when that lady touched that female cop and she smoked her face, bro.
Wait, hold on. No. That wasn't a female cop. I think that was I think that was just a girl who was like anti-Trump, basically, and she wound up touching her, and she hit her with the fade, and girl stuffed blood. Oh yeah.
She smoked her, bro. Her whole grill was gone. I mean, her whole nose was gone, bro.
Oh my god! And listen.
She did. I'm gonna have to rewatch the video because I thought she was a cop. Like it.
No. She has black on. I think that she probably like has Black Lives Matter.
Okay. Whatever. I'm gonna rewatch it. But yeah,
listen, Ace Kennedy. The thing that I did find to be very interesting, bro, about that. I don't care, even if you're winning a fight. It looks bad when you bleed that easily because it was a straight, solid punch. But she bled. She looks like she's a bleeder. Like she looks like she bleeds easily, bro.
It was just the commentary after she got smoked, though. Like it was almost like it reminded me of Kevin Hart daddy talking about the dude was an octopus. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh my god.
She was like, did they jump me? Like she just looked like she couldn't believe that she got her face smoked like that, bro.
Listen, and the thing that gets me the most, though, right? I think the thing that gets me, and it never fails. And then after your girl to get put, listen, let me add. Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm feeling like a hypocrite in saying this, though, man. Because listen, I was about to say, after she got punched in the face, Then you got the tough guys around who try to hem up the girl and everything, right? Try to snatch on up. Let me ask you this, though, A. Kennedy. For some reason, you and Mrs. Kennedy is out and about. Y'all in the spot. And you see some girls who is pressing Miss Kennedy. And Miss Kennedy is like, I'm not gonna just get here and jump out the window, but I ain't backing down, but I'm gonna play it cool. And these girls is real aggressive and they pressing. They put hands on Miss Kennedy. You were there. What's the next move?
Well, I that's a very hard hypothetical, but let me tell you, I was back in, I don't know what year it was, but I was at a Halloween party, and there was two people that I was in Air Force with that had got into it with some girls, and they start fighting, and of course a whole bunch of hairs was being pulled, this, that, and the other. So I reached inside and was breaking it up. I said, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if somebody hit me, somebody going to sleep. And I promise you, if somebody hit me, I'm going to sleep. So now, mind you, by this time, the other two females, they had some dudes with them. And they was like, look, bro, listen, bro, I'm not gonna swing on you. I'm not gonna hit you. I'm just trying to get them off. I said, all right, I'm just telling y'all, if I get hit, somebody is going to sleep. And I promise somebody's going to sleep. So I'm saying that to say that I'm not going to put my hands on a female, but at the same time, I'm definitely protecting my wife. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Listen here, bro. If Jennifer Jameson ever thought that she could touch the research department,
Head, shoulder,
JJ, I love you. You got to catch it. You got to get everything I saw.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
I saw the way JJ swing. Listen, I think that I've only been in the position one time where I was ready to possibly swing on the girl. And this is clubbing, just very similar. We're out in the parking lot, and I don't even know what. There was just some real aggressive. We out here in one of the hood spots downtown, though, bro. And we just out here and about. Now I know that my girl got her dress on and they extra fresh. They ain't come in for all that. We came in just to kick back. Right. One of my people, so I'm there like, nah, this is my spot. My people own it. Whatever. And so they get into this fight in that's how it started. They get into a fight in the spot. Now, mind you, I don't know anybody here, right? This is his people's spot. So this is his neighborhood. So I don't know who's his people's and who's not. So I'm sitting here looking around, surveying the land, and they throwing. And I see him crack somebody with a chair and everything like that. And this is what's crazy. This is a fight that clears out the entire, it's one of those spots where they have the tables and everything, where after a couple of hours, they remove them. It's the dance floor. They done cleared out the whole dance floor in this day. And listen, within 5 minutes, it was all cleared back up. And you would have never knew. Drinks were spilled. They cleaned it all up. We go outside, right? So we're walking to go where we park. Well, oddly enough, some of the people who was into the fight are parked almost right next to us, right? And so while we're there, mind you, like this didn't have anything to do with, Neek and the people, the girls who I'm with, but they all dressed up. These girls are in tennis shoes. These girls look like they came here not to fight, but ready just in case something
pop off.
And they was aggressive, hella aggressive though, man. And so I'm sitting here thinking these are the more masculine kind of females and everything, right? So there's this dude, and after they are there's the cat who I was down there with, him and this other guy, they going back and forth, they argue. There's another guy over on there who he's the me, right? He didn't drink. He's coherent. He's just like, listen, man, I'm just trying to get my people, whatever. And this one girl, she's just keep pressing. I'm thinking like, bro, you better get Butch on, bro, because you gonna force my hand, and she gonna get these hands though, bro. And he's trying to stop her, and she's just still moving in on the people. That was the close. And I'm talking about, listen, If this girl would have thrown a single punch at anybody, I think I would have been forced to lay her smooth out.
Two questions. Did you see the fight with the family at Disneyland or Disney World or whatever?
Oh my gosh.
And the other question, you remember when you was here in Oklahoma, we was at Bricktown and that dude got snuffed out on the dance floor?
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that, bro.
Bro, we was out there chilling and that dude you knew he was about to do something. He had the creep face like I'm about to
Oh my gosh, though, bro. That boy seized up too. And listen, yeah, that was brutal though, man. But listen, bro, that was the only time that I can think of that I've been in a position where I was like, nah, I'm about to knock some female head smooth off her shoulders because her dude, and I don't think it was even her dude. Her dude, one of the girls' dude, was the one who got whipped inside the club. His mans was sitting here talking outside the club, and the other guy was trying to get there. And listen, they was extra ratchets though, man. But I was like, yo, y'all about to get one of these ratchets drug up out of here though, man. Crazy times though, man.
Yeah. Well, real quick, man. For those of you guys who got Disney Plus, Wanda Vision came out. Quick non-spoiler review, real quick. Very, very dope little show. It definitely takes, for those of you guys who've watched Endgame, Infinity War, you know that Vision died. Spoiler alert if you ain't seen that. Sorry, it's been out. But so this kind of takes place, I think, in the mind of Wanda, who is Scarlet Witch, and it's very well done, man. If you like shows like Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, I Love Lucy, it kind of has that kind of feel to it. But there's like inside stuff hinting around like Infinity War and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. I love how they did it. It's not, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not for everybody. Everybody's not gonna like it. But and you don't really have to know the story of House of M in order to be in order to enjoy it. So I thought it was really dope. And what they did is they put out the first 2 episodes. And I love the cliffhangers for everything. You could really see. So it's one of those things, like for people who watch Mandalorian, if you know the history of Clone Wars and Rebels, there's things that happen in the Mandalorian that you just immediately attached yourself to because you knew the Easter eggs. So for people who know the story of House of M, it will definitely speak to you a whole lot more. But for me, somebody who was not even necessarily looking forward to this particular series, I definitely enjoyed it. I cannot wait for next week to see what's going to happen. But for those of you who are into Marvel, this is their first attempt at a Marvel cinematic universe TV show outside of like Daredevil, Luke Cage, and stuff like that, which weren't really attached to the MCU. This is kind of like building off the characters that we saw in the movies. So yeah, definitely worth the watch to get your own opinion from it. But from everybody that I spoke to, truly enjoyed it, and I can't wait to watch it again.
Yo, shout out to homie Dennis and the boy Chad checking in real quick, and the artist formerly known as Brittany Rowe checking in as always though.
Man, she actually got a session Monday too.
What's up?
She going to the Big Boy Studio Monday.
Listen, I need to get her to do some features here for the boy here before her price go up there. But listen, I think that it's interesting though, man. I haven't watched it. I'm one of those people who haven't seen it just yet. But listen, I got the extra day that I wasn't expecting, so I'm pretty sure that I'll be watching it.
Pretty short episodes too. Yeah.
And let me tell you, speaking of which, let me tell you what I did that's not necessarily related. But I started watching Doom Patrol though, man. Kind of different, but I was like,
listen,
I'm 5 or 6 episodes, I'm 5 episodes in, and at first I was like borderline. I was borderline interested, and then I saw the whole episode, and I found myself wanting to see the next and the next. I think that it's like this: if it wasn't all there, if I had to watch it literally 1 week at a time, I wouldn't watch it. But the fact that it's all there to watch it at one time.
Well, see, I think because you were such a huge fan of Umbrella Academy, I could see you liking Doom Patrol.
Yes, me, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, but for me, because I started watching Titans first, Titans to me was so much better. I finished Titans, and I still have Doom Patrol, but I'm still on season 1, but it's very slow for me. I do like the characters because I like Brendan Fraser. I like the dude from he was on that USA show. He was the con artist, and he was helping
yeah. He was from
white suits. What is it called?
not suits. What's it suits? It
No,
wasn't
it wasn't
suits.
suits. It was like white collar.
White collar. Oh,
Yeah.
let me tell you.
They had the girl killing.
I gotta ask you something here, because this is just funny. Brittany, you gotta be watching more often, because Ace is the king of Cobra Kai, right?
I told y'all about Cobra Kai.
Listen, go ahead. I'm gonna let you have the moment. Go ahead, say it.
I told y'all about Cobra Kai 3 years ago when Cobra Kai was on YouTube Red, and that was years ago. So when it finally hit Netflix, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, everybody's seen Cobra Kai," I'm like, "Bro, stop, bro." Like I got the Cobra Kai shirt over here waiting for y'all. Like,
let me ask you this. So I saw something to do, and Landon was like, "Oh my God, y'all always do this." And I want to know if you do this. So I'm watching on Netflix. We try to figure out something to watch, family. We just got done watching this movie called We Could Be Heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very much like Shark Boy, Lava Girl. I think they're in there and everything like that. Listen, great movie if you want to watch it with Charlie, though, bro. If you haven't already, I think she would absolutely love it, because there's a little girl on there who is Shark Boy and Lava Girl's daughter, who got these special powers, and it's hilarious. But they got a bunch of familiar faces in the movie, like all throughout here. I was like, yeah, they got a bunch of people. So one thing that we always do, like, hey, that's old girl from whatever. I don't know the name. We see her like, yo, is that Vanessa Hudgens, right? And Landon is looking like, oh, dog, I'm trying to watch the movie, right? So we watch it. We was like, oh, that's old boy from Fast and Furious, and we not knowing everybody's real name. So I died laughing, because do you do that though, bro? Like, reference somebody
I do it to Sarah all the time, and she hates it with a passion, because she knows that I like when I'm watching it, because it goes back to the thing we always say, like characters who become characters. Like from here on out, Lawrence Fishburne is Morpheus. I don't care what he plays in, that's Morpheus. You know what I'm saying? But then you got characters like Samuel, who they're always Samuel, no matter what. He ain't Samuel L. Jackson, he's Samuel. You know what I'm saying? Like, so and Brittany, I 112% have seen Bridgerton.
I am on about to start episode 4.
Bro, have you been listening to the score?
I've been trying to, you know what I've been trying to do? We've been trying to figure out the songs.
Google it. Just Google it. It gives you the track list.
No, but I wanted to just figure it out though, man, because so this was funny. We went to a wedding some years ago, and somebody was playing songs that were like hip hop songs, R&B songs, but they were all instrumentals, and they were all like an orchestra playing them and everything like that. And so it would almost be like if you heard somebody playing in the club, but it was just with violin.
Yeah.
So it was fire though, bro. But I am trying to figure it out. But I like Bridgerton so far though, man.
Bro, I love Bridgerton, bro.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to finish it so I can ask you this one question that's bugging everybody. So I can't ask it to you until you finish watching it.
I'll probably be done with it by this weekend at the pace. Because listen, we are trying to watch finish Snowfall, because Snowfall, the 3rd season, comes out next month. So we're hoping to finish all of that and then finish all of that. But at the same time, like, all right, let's get some kind of break. We ain't trying to get out here and be inspired to go sell crack out here from the 80s.
Yeah.
But Bridgerton is one of those ones that we that's short enough, new enough that we can watch it all the way through though, man. But yeah.
Well, last thing before we get out of here, bro, man, you think your boy's gonna pull it out this weekend?
Oh man. Okay, so I'm nervous. I'm always nervous when we play the teams that we should easily beat. Let me tell you what I'm saying. We beat I was nervous when we played the Bears, even though I was talking my noise to you afterwards. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew we should have beat the Bears because we're better than the Bears, right? And here's the thing. With all things considered, if you look at their numbers lined up against Drew Brees versus Tom Brady, Drew Brees has played better statistically when he's facing Tom Brady on the few times that they did. And then with all things considered, the Saints defense does everything well that you would think would frustrate Tom Brady. The problem that I have, though, bro, is that we beat them 2 times, and it's hard in the NFL to beat a team 3 times in a row. The other issue that I have with that, man, is that I always tell you about our defense gives up a big play, a huge big, like it gets every single team. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
Mhm.
So and not just that though, we're the most penalized team in the secondary anyway. I think Marshawn Lattimore is our best cornerback, has the most pass interference plays, and I'm pretty sure for the longest yard. So for every reason, I think that we should beat them. I just feel nervous about it, though. It's not that it's Tom Brady. It's just the fact that I just have issue with trying to beat a team 3 times in a row.
Yeah. I understand that, man.
All averages come around at some point. You know, that's where I get into.
I don't have a dog in the fight, bro. So it's for me, it's just all entertainment it is at this point on like just, you know, enjoying the playoffs or what it is. So
now here's the thing. Provided that we beat the Bucks, I do think that we can beat all the other teams. So I do think that we can beat Green Bay or the Rams. I believe we already beat the Rams. And I think that with all things considered, our defensive line, if we played against like the Green Bay Packers, their number 1 offensive lineman, who was their main protector for Aaron Rodgers, he had some kind of season-ending injury. And I think that we could do that. And then I think that with the Rams, I just think that their homeboy Hand still had surgery. I think that for all things, because we can beat all of those teams. But for some reason, while we should beat the Bucks, it just makes me nervous. I won't be watching, so I won't jinx them, and so we'll see what's up.
Yeah, it's been working for you all year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm excited though. I'm excited about what could happen.
What else you got going on this weekend before we get out of here, bro?
Man, so this weekend, dude, I think I might actually I think that it's supposed to be not warm. If it doesn't rain, I think I might actually try to pull out Billie Jean, man. I got to wash my girl on up before I put the cover back on her. I want to try to do an oil change on her, though, man. And, other than that, though, bro, I had some ADD moments when it came to beats the other day. I was in the lab and probably fired off maybe 10 beats over the last 2 days that I was like, that I didn't finish. And so I'm hoping that I can if I can wrap those up, and these is 10 that are keepers, 10 keepers though, bro. So I'm gonna try to finish them up and try to not keep them for myself, like everybody say I do.
Yeah.
What about you? What you got on deck?
Well, first of all, I want to shout out Richard Hansen. He's one of my Air Force buddies. He proposed to his now fiance tonight. And he asked Ace Kennedy to come out there and sing before he proposed. So that's what I did before, which is why the pod is a little bit late this evening. So shout out to them. Congratulations to them. I was so blessed to be a part of something like that. But for the rest of the weekend, we're going to see the Prince play tomorrow. Nice. And then, you know, church on Sunday, and then, you know, right back at it after that holiday.
Man, I think that I'm gonna, man, I think I want to at least probably on Sunday, bro. I think I'm gonna try to relax on Sunday the same way I did that week after Christmas when I was like still off. I think I'm about to bum. I'm thinking that, bro, I don't even roll out of the bed until about 11 o'clock, man.
Well, unfortunately, I got to get the Prince to the school, so I won't be sleeping. But it is what it is. But yo, man. Yo, thank you for tuning in to the boys.
Absolutely. Brittany Rowe, I'm hoping that we can do something, girl, real soon. But holla at your boy, Ace Kennedy. Let's get that music, man. Let's get on out of here. That girl Brittany said she was on her way to work, wondering like where them boys at.
The greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast. The greatest podcast.
If you smell